We are La Lome, and you are listening to WNYU 89.1.
Thank you guys so much for coming in today. By the time this will have aired, you guys, your debut album, The Los Angeles League of Musicians, will have been released. So congratulations on that. It's a beautiful album.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
Of course. So you guys began playing in the lobby of a hotel on Hollywood Boulevard, correct? And you were background music for passerbys and tourists and whatnot. How was the transition from being background music to having people intentionally seek you out and going on tour and having crowds of people want to hear your music?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty quick that the transition happened. So for me, I was pretty surprised, I think, seeing that. You know, we just started playing a few bars around our hometown that were pretty small, like maybe about 50 to 100 people could fit in there. And even that, like when we first went from playing at like a hotel to playing in front of people at bars and stuff, I was a little nervous about it, but Nick kind of convinced me it was a good idea to do. And very quickly from that, I think we played a place called Zebulon. It was like a real ticketed kind of thing. So you
went up to the Lodge Room, which is was our first 500 cap room.
And that all happened really quick, and then now we're touring all around the country and playing festivals and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting.
It all started with making our 3 videos. So we went from playing in the hotel to making some videos
in
and
the
an
hotel.
EP in the hotel, and then recording an EP. So kind of just like it was like a little build, and then started playing out at all the venues you just listed. But no.
Do you think there's ever like a sense of comfort or nostalgia in playing in like hotel lobbies and being just that background music, or are you like when you think back on it, or are you just happy to be like away from that?
No, I mean, I don't think we particularly like want to go back to playing hotel lobbies, but I mean, what was really cool about it was we had the opportunity to just play all the time, because some of these places, the gigs were like 3 hours long, and we were doing them a few times a week. So
4 or 5 times a week, actually.
Yeah, so it was just like a lot of opportunity to play and work on new material.
And we still will play small rooms in Los Angeles. We have some places we like to go to that'll hold 150 people or so, and because that's a lot of fun getting to play for a bunch of people who like to dance.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we're trying to bring to these bigger theaters and stuff that we're starting to play. Like we did a thing in Chicago at a place called Talia Hall where it was called like In the Round. So we had a round stage in the middle of the crowd, and I think it was about 800 people there, but it felt like we were playing in like a little bar for 100 people or something, because everybody could dance and we were right on the level with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
really
very special to be able to look at everybody while we're playing.
Yeah, speaking on dancing and having danceable music, your sound as a band is like kind of like this dichotomy, right? It's like laid back and freeing, but at the same time, you kind of want to do the opposite of laid back. You want to get up and dance, right? So sorry. So you also want to get up and dance. So was that dual experience for the listener like always the goal as a band that you wanted to craft? Especially because there's such a range between like slow pace to fast paced music in genres like cumbia and chicha.
Yeah.
So was that like laid back but also like get up and dance type of vibe? Was that always what you wanted to have as a band for the listener?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always been, in addition to the dance music, we've always been into the real laid back, chill kind of like slow ballads and stuff, like boleros, and also like a lot of old kind of soul music and a lot of the oldies kind of stuff that are sort of, I don't know, just have a really laid back kind of vibe to them. That's always been a big part of our sound.
And that's kind of what's around Los Angeles, is you'll have it kind of captures the energy at the same time, of like very relaxed and laid back, but we do have an economy. We do keep moving.
Yeah.
But it kind of happened naturally, because people started to like, hey, like, would you play this song or this famous song, or like, and so slowly it kind of started to become more cumbia because of that, because people wanted to dance more.
Yeah.
Like first they were dancing to the slow tunes, but then they wanted to dance fast.
Yeah, I think when we started out playing together, we were probably playing more ballads and slow kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah, because we were in the background.
Yeah.
So, we would play songs by La Cubana Cuban Boys or boleros or things like that. And as Nick was saying, when we started getting requests for dances, we had to adjust.
How do you choose like your specific instrumentation when it comes to music, like the upright bass versus like a P bass or whatever like specific style you?
I mean, like for different
approach that?
songs, he has
Yeah.
a different bass.
Yeah.
It is kind of an abstract like it's just a feeling
Yeah.
of just this feels more upright. I'll ask, we have conversations. Does this feel better or worse? We'll try them both sometimes, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's surprising. You'd think it'd be one way and it goes another, or we'll record it one way and live it switches.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you do both? Like, do you automatically go with one because you feel like that one's best? And that's
Absolutely.
nice. Okay, I love your covers of cumbia classics like Como Te Voy a Olvidar, Llorar, Juana la Cubana, and how you guys make them your own. And while I love the vocals in the originals, like the gritos, the backgrounds, vocals, the lyrics, I really enjoy how essentially like the guitar is the voice and it plays the melody. What's the reasoning behind creating purely instrumental music? And do you ever think you would want to experiment with vocals at all?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when we started out, I don't know if it was just kind of the nature of that gig that we had originally was kind of more instrumental kind of thing. It didn't really make sense to have someone singing when it was more background. But yeah, I think we just kind of found playing with each other that it just really worked. Something really worked about the way we were playing together, and yeah, we just really, I don't know, it just kind of worked, I guess.
Zach was saying how he started out playing bluegrass and banjo and fiddle and those kinds of instruments, and I think that those are so melody driven that it has really influenced his melodic. I mean, he's a melodic player, so I think he can carry the emotional information in just the melody. We don't need a vocalist.
Yeah.
But we also are happy to work with them.
Yeah.
We did a song with Gabby Moreno. And that came out great. We played it today, actually. I wrote the instrumental version.
Yeah, it's called Alma Florecida, and it was an instrumental that we were kind of playing on its own as an instrumental. It sort of stood alone as an instrumental, but we played it for Gabby, and she put some words to it, and we really liked it. So
Yeah, you can see like as you guys play, like you guys have your own dance going on. Like there's so much emotion conveyed through the instruments. I think it's like a really nice choice to have that as well. But I was just curious about like that as well.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think also a lot of the instrumentals that we write, we kind of think of them as songs, even though someone isn't singing them. So they have kind of the form of a song, as opposed to just like a long jam. I think a lot of groups I've seen that play instrumental music will have really long solos and kind of not really like a song format. But we always kind of think of it as a song first.
I mean, Alma Florecida, the song we did with Gabby, was one that we were playing as an instrumental, and we sent it to Gabby, and she wrote those beautiful words to it.
Yeah.
That's how it came together.
Yeah. Do you guys envision your music as more English language, Spanish language, a mix of both, or like none at all?
I think a mix of both and maybe some other languages too. We've talked about doing stuff with singers that speak other languages, and yeah, we're open to any language really.
Good music. That's all we want to do. It kind of just it happened that we ended up doing cumbia because I think
we're from LA.
I think that's kind of the natural place.
Yeah. So your families come from countries with such rich musical history like Argentina and Mexico. Have you guys been to those countries, or do you go often at all? Or
I've never been to Argentina. I would love to go. I think we've all been to Mexico different times. Not as a band though. We really want to play there as a band, and we're hoping to maybe next year. Yeah.
Do you feel that these visits and being firsthand where these cultures and customs hailed from, do you feel like those experiences govern your music at all, or do you feel like you pull more influence from the subcultures that exist in LA?
I think more from from a lot of the cultures in LA, and just hearing music friends play for us and hearing music on the radio and at parties and bars and stuff. And we also just listen to records a lot. A lot of the influence of our music just comes from listening to records that we collect and our friends' records and trading stuff around. And
we're very fortunate. There's a really robust music scene we got to be a part of in Los Angeles, with a lot of guys who care a lot about rural musics from all over the world.
Yeah.
And so the guys have all really learned to play all these different styles from that.
And there are a lot of really great cumbia bands in LA and play chicha kind of music too. And not just from LA, but like there's a lot of great cumbia bands like from Mexico and other parts that come through and tour and play at little dance halls and stuff. You can go see them in like a lot of time pretty small clubs, It's pretty
you can
cool.
see a lot of the radio bands going through clubs that are tiny in Los Angeles. It's really neat.
Yeah, I host a show on Salvadoran cumbia, and sometimes those like cumbia bands from El Salvador, they'll be in like a club in Queens, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing here. Like, and they're like ancient too. I'm like, it's been like forever that you've like been around.
People that are like legends, and they'll be playing in little places in LA. So.
Yeah. Did you guys grow up wanting to like build this like fusion of genres, or was it you like that thought into the future? Oh, I want to focus on like this genre, or
I think so. For me, like my grandma introduced me to the old school boleros first, but and then we kind of started doing more cumbias just kind of from listening to them in LA. But I think listening to the stuff that she showed me first was the first influence, and then my mentor showed me more Afro-Cuban stuff. So I think a lot of those influences kind of naturally created a mixture of sounds for me. But
Yeah, like I grew up, probably some of the first music I played was with my dad playing a lot of like bluegrass and country music and stuff. I played banjo, mandolin, and I used to play gigs with my dad. He's a musician too. And also there's a lot of other kinds of music that he showed me and have kind of influenced me over the years. And me and Jake, we used to play a lot of rockabilly together when we first started hanging out.
Yeah, we met when we were about 16, 17,
something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the fusion of these genres, I think it just sort of happens naturally just from, playing all these different types of music over the years.
Yeah, I love music that takes different approaches to already existing genres and kind of make like their own eclectic genre. And I've expressed this sentiment before, and I've been told like, oh, I don't like fusions. Like, this shouldn't be changed. It should be nothing but the way it already is. So I'm curious if you guys have faced any like resistance to like this like combination of like diverse musical histories that you guys have.
I think the word fusion, it creates this kind of, I think there's like, it's kind of associated with like maybe the 80s and 90s kind of strange sound, which like for us are kind of just creating music, especially when we're just playing with each other in kind of more acoustic manner, that kind of just draws the sound out in a different way than I think that word.
Yeah, I mean, we've learned to play so many different songs from different styles. Like there's like this old Macedonian folk song that's kind of an unusual time signature that we used to play a lot, or songs from Turkey, or from all over the place, really. But with this instrumentation, it always kind of has this sound that sounds like our band, just with the basic guitar and percussion and bass. It always kind of sounds like La Lome, regardless of what we're doing.
And I feel like we approach this music with a lot of reverence. And so it's not like we're gingerly borrowing a sitar because, and then playing things that aren't appropriate for the instrument. We take these things and we really internalize them, and we don't play things that I don't think we play untrue.
But at the same time, there's nothing like that traditional about the way we play a lot of these things. Like, I think we would never claim to be like playing cumbia in a really typical like old Colombian style or something. It's very much our own
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
not
way.
gaiteros.
Did you all grow up with cumbia, or was it like something that some of you came into? Like,
I think it's always been there. It's not necessarily like when the music I was playing first a lot with my dad was a lot of bluegrass music and everything, but I've always heard cumbia. I think probably the first cumbia I heard was like Selena or the one you were saying, Como Te Voy a Olvidar.
yeah,
Some of those kind of pop, like sort of 90s cumbia songs. So yeah, it's always been around, but like I was saying, we've all kind of grown up with all different kinds of music, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up with cumbia, and I used to think like, oh, that's like the party music, the adult music. Like, I don't want to I don't like that. Like, I
Yeah.
heard that and I associated that with like family parties and
Yeah.
whatnot. But now that I'm an adult and I like explore music on my own and I make my own connection and relationships through music, I find it like so much more comforting now and so much more like expressive than I used to.
Cool.
Did you always thank you? Did you always have like a relationship like that with music? Was it ever something that you struggled with at all, like individually or maybe as a group? Like, or is this something that has always been like a comforting like relationship to you?
I think it's always been comforting. Yeah, it's always given me a feeling of nostalgia, which I've noticed that a lot of our listeners have, like a lot of the comments, they're always like, oh, it's nostalgia, and then they'll be like, my uncle would always come over in his bell bottoms and his cologne, and then like they would go dancing with my mom or something. Yeah, and then there's all these old school stories like that, and I think, for me it's always been nostalgic. But as a kid, sometimes that can make you feel strange, I think.
Yeah.
But I kind of embraced it, I think, because of my mentor and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure why exactly, but I guess I sort of maybe just because growing up with my dad as a musician and stuff, and he always kind of made me like tapes of really old stuff that was even kind of old for him, and I kind of grew up with just always listening to older music, a lot of stuff from like the 40s or 50s or something. So I think we all kind of have that in common, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, I when we met, we were connecting on music from the 20s.
yeah, a lot of like kind of what they call like old time music, like old American country music
A lot
and
of old
stuff,
blues and
blues.
folk,
So
you know.
yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, that's always just been something we've all kind of been interested in, like a lot of the older styles.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you like to name a lot of your songs after places that mean a lot to you guys in LA. Does this significance come from memories or time spent as a group together, or is it sometimes like sentimental to maybe one member and the other members draw upon that from that experience, or how does that?
I think a little bit of both. Like there's some songs we have that I've named after like streets I used to live on in LA. There's also songs we have, like this one, Figueroa, is named after the place where we wrote the song and put together the studio where we recorded it. Yeah. It's on Figueroa.
We named, there's a street named Lorena, and we have a song on the new record titled that's named after where we did all of our videos.
You can't give that away though, man. You can't tell them the secret location.
It's a big street.
It's a long street.
Your secret spot.
Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of significance just to places we play and stuff. And like there's a song called Moonlight Over Montebello. There's this really great place called Cuarto Central. It's on Whittier Boulevard in Montebello, which is like kind of a little bit east of East LA.
That we can give away.
We can give that away. That's just a really great little place a friend of ours runs that puts on really good shows there with bands and DJs and stuff. And yeah.
Do you guys ever go back to these places and revisit these memories, or make new memories perhaps? Or
yeah, all the time. Yeah, we all still, we live in LA and everything, so we see these places all the time. I live right next to a lot of these places that are names of songs and stuff.
Yeah, the Cuarto Central in Montebello is a place we still will not officially, but you can follow them, and we might be there.
So New York and LA, two very different cities, but they're alike in so many ways. They're like such a big melting pot of like different cultures.
Yeah.
Do you see any, like, do you feel any comfort being in New York when you see like such like an immersive experience when you come to New York? There's like corners of every corner is a different culture. Every neighborhood is a different language spoken. Do you enjoy New York for that reason, or do you like see any like resemblance into your home there in
Definitely.
LA?
Yeah, I think it's like it's kind of different groups of people, but it's the same kind of thing,
Yeah.
It's just
I think an amazing XY point is between our liquor stores and your bodegas.
Yeah.
And how they both have everything.
Yeah.
You guys have better deli than we do, but we have tacos, so we'll split the difference there. But
I don't know. We have pretty good tacos.
yeah.
Okay, and I have one final question. So you're performing with the Sacred Souls at the Celebrate Brooklyn Festival, and the festival's mission is to unite Brooklyn through artistic platforms and foster community through music. So I want to ask you guys, besides music, how do you guys like to foster community, be it with each other, with your family, with friends, your community in LA? How do you guys like to foster community?
Man.
Your barbecues are pretty good.
Zach holds these amazing barbecues, and all these incredible musicians come in. He's come to know a bunch of really great players.
I mean, I guess that's sort of music related, but I have like a big garden and chickens and stuff on my backyard, and I would love it if more like gardeners and people came. I love to foster community in that way, have like a community garden kind of place. But I guess these days it's like we've been touring so much since February, we don't have much time to do any kind of big projects outside of music.
Yes.
So it's the barbecues.
The barbecues answer for all.
Yeah. Cool. Ready? One more?
We're La Lome,
and you're listening to WNYU 89.1.